All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the legendary Mr. Sonny Ozuna here with us. Sonny, thank you very much.
Mike.
He just did a great show here at Cattleman Square, downtown San Antonio, here for Fiesta 2011. So, Sonny, you got your new band going. You guys got a lot going on. How does it feel to be back in the mix, doing everything with being with the people again?
Well, man, it's a very good feeling. So I had my group running all this time, actually. For those of you that don't know, we actually started in 1963 as Sonny and the Sunglows, and you probably remember Talk to Me from then because the song was just starting to take off. So that group broke up, and we stayed Sonny and the Sunliners ever since. And so we went with Talk to Me and all the hit records that we've had through the years. It's a good feeling because on being 19 years old, coming out of high school, I wasn't even graduating. That was my graduating year. And Talk to Me takes off so fast that Dick Clark wants to pick it up to do it on American Bandstand, but it got to be #1 in the country for 17 weeks. A young kid coming out of high school, man. I mean, I didn't know what side was up still, man. I was just coming out of high school, right? So I was excited, man. I used to be like all the other teenagers that would run as fast as we could after school to sit in front of the television set to see American Bandstand. So you can imagine I was going to go do the program, right? So, oh man, it was an awesome feeling, And
I'm sure all of San Antonio tuned in because they tuned in for that one because you're a hometown favorite.
Yeah.
You know, and you've had a lot of great musicians play with you, and you've played with a lot of great musicians, and you're big not only for the Onda Chicana, Onda Tejana, but the lowriders, all the oldies people, you know, the old school guys. So what's your favorite to do? I mean, I know that's probably hard for you to pick, you know, but you're great in the doo-wop, big in all those scenes. You know, what's your
what happens is, Mike, is that I kind of added a few more. I'm also writing gospel now, and I'm writing Christmas carols, and then we do oldies. We're doing country now. And then some nights I'm actually a Tejano artist. So it just depends, you know, what we adapt. We adapt to whatever is on the card for that particular weekend. And we psych ourselves out. And if we're going to be Tejano, then we're going to be Tejano. That's just all there is to it. If we're going to be an oldie, well, it's like, you know, we're nothing but oldies, right? Yeah. So it's a good feeling. Just, the Lord's been very good. And since we're bilingual, so it makes it easy to, you know, jump the fence and still sound okay. I mean, I would say a little better than okay in each one of the genres, which is really cool. So we're still enjoying it. This is, for us, it's 51 years later. So we still can turn it up like this because this is what we love to do.
And the crowd's gone now. You can see everybody's kind of cleared out. His show ended a little while ago, but it was a great turnout, and you had a lot of fans calling out tons of songs for you, and he did a little piece of all of them. And I know music is your life, but what else do you like to do? Do you have any other hobbies or anything that you do?
You know that I really don't have, I don't know if you could call it a hobby. I'm a workaholic, man. On top of this, I'm a workaholic. And so I do everything in my house. I paint, I bring down screens, I paint the house, I work on my cars. I do it when I do have time, right? Because usually we're more or less weekend warriors. So we work weekends. So during the week, the guys don't understand how I can have energy to do the weekend. When I tell them what'd you do, they kid me all the time. What did you do this week? Well, I painted the house on the outside. I took down some window guards. I'm getting them welded. I got to put them back on tomorrow. I wash the cars and I do all the interior and all the outside, and we wash the tires and do the dress the tires, and the list just goes on. And it says, man, that's a lot for 1 week. No, it says that's just the first couple of days. Paint the house in a couple of days. I said, yeah, man, I did, man. I actually did.
And so doing all that, you got to get hungry. What kind of food do you like to eat, man? Your favorite kinds of food?
Typical Hispano, man. Carne guisada, rice and beans. Give me a glass of tea. Hey, bury me. Poke a fork in me, I'm done.
Now, through these years, you've written a lot of songs.
Yeah.
So do you play an instrument as well?
I play guitar, but only to scare myself. I don't have. The Lord gives me the melodies and the ideas, and I pretty much, the songs belong to Him, and so I just fairly kind of just follow wherever it takes me. Little things that happen around me, like most artists, or somebody comments something, and it kind of stays with you until you get. Sometimes I'll pick it up on the road, and I won't work on it until I get home.
Yeah.
But you're walking around with that idea. And that's what happened with Smile Now Cry Later. Actually, that's what happened with Smile Now Cry Later. The idea, I got it out somewhere out on the road, and I took it home, and just about a month later, I said, I better get busy on this and get something out of it. And then the lowriders adapted it to the lowriders. So that's really cool.
I grew up in California around tons of lowriders and hearing Smile Now Cry Later and Talk to Me and all those songs.
Yeah.
And you were talking about earlier watching Dick Clark and you being in the mix with all the lowrider bands and all the Tejano bands. What are some of the groups that you like to listen to when you're listening to music? Some of your favorite artists?
God, there are just so many out there. A lot of times we listen to some groups just so that we can get ideas to either make arrangements for ourselves, or sometimes you will hear, Lord is good. Sometimes I'll hear someone do something that I can really get off on, and it seems kind of odd that by the time I get through listening to the whole song, I've got a whole different song almost already ready out of the one that I was listening to. Como, up in LA, we listen to Tierra and Malo.
Yeah.
We do a lot of those doo-wops with those guys.
Yeah.
Santana and a lot of those guys. So we go, and for me, it's like I tell the guys, because a lot of the times the guys don't go, I go by myself, and I work with a group that they use for the shows, right? But I tell them, look, I'll see you in a couple of weeks, man. I'm going to school. It's like, because I go and I learn from all these guys, man. And even at my age, I learn all the time.
So do you have a favorite album, something that through your whole life has always been something that you love to listen to?
Oh, gosh, man. It's just that I listen to all kinds of music, man. So, gosh, I really
know
can't say one.
That's the toughest question we give everybody every time, as you know.
And it's kind of rough. Only maybe if I didn't write, it would probably be a little easier. But I get so many ideas from so many different kinds of music, and it really works out for me. So you get inspirations off things.
So you listed a lot of great people that you played with, and I know you've played with everybody in the Onda Chicana, on the Tejana. What is one of your greatest memories, greatest moments on stage? Your one of the shining moments in your mind that you had?
One day, man, we played the Hollywood Palladium, and everybody was at the place. I was playing with Sonora Santanera.
Yeah.
Not a place to stand one more person. I'm talking the balconies and everything. All the balconies, people danced up there because they couldn't come down. There was nowhere for to stand down there. But when I walked out, they were thrilled to death to see me. But everybody kept going like this, and then, what is going on? And I figured out. I had actually walked out with my zipper down the front of my pants, and I said, "What? And they kept going down here. I'll never forget Hollywood Palladium, dude. Can you imagine that? Oh, I laughed for weeks after that, man. But at the time, it wasn't too funny.
What year was that, Sonny?
That must have been maybe around 65, 67. Wow. Wait, of course, Talk to Me had just taken off. We recorded Talk to Me in 63. It's amazing that California doesn't seem to record. Talk to Me has been actually my biggest record that I had. I think we did something like 6 million copies when it got, from the time it started to the time it got hot. And so, but California is so different to me, man, because over here you play Talk to Me, you saw they totally lose it. Yeah. In California, they have so many, they don't even pay attention to Talk to Me. Yeah. I gotta play Smile Now Cry Later, the one that's hurting is you, and I mean the list, Dolly G. It goes on and on and on. So.
And then you come to Texas and you have to play those plus Reina de Mi Amor and all those songs.
And what's really strange is that people through the years, believe it or not, have migrated from Texas and now are residents of California, and they've been telling all their people all these years. Yeah. So when the Tejano groups come up there, they just lose it, man, because of course you're taken home to the ones that left Texas, right? Yeah. But the other ones are saying, man, what is going on? Well, this is what I was trying to tell you guys, man. So it's such a good time. It's such a good. I love coming to California all the time. As a matter of fact, I'm there next week. I'm doing Riverside next week, and it's already sold out. It's sold out. Some auditorium there in Riverside. It's sold out. So I'm anxious to get there.
and like we said, you played with. It's going back to the Onda Tejana. You played with Little Joe. Agustin Ramirez was here today, and I know you've done lots of shows over the years with him. Joe Bravo.
For sure.
And you had tons of great San Antonio-based musicians in your band, and namely, the story is the Latin breed. Most of those guys came from your band, right? They were all part of the Sunliners.
And a lot of the I've gone. One day we didn't have better thing to do, man. So we started counting as many musicians that we could remember. Now you're talking about maybe 10, 12 years ago, and we stopped around 380 something. So most of the musicians that work for some of the other artists in my school, a lot of them have migrated from here and gone just coincidentally into some of those groups.
Yes.
So they took a lot of ideas. Of course, they have to adapt to the new style.
Yes.
But they're sharp musicians.
Well, and I know the Latin breed redid a few of your songs. They did La Madera after you had done it, and they did a few other ones. And Rudy Guerra played for a long time for you.
Yeah,
right?
he was my business partner when we first started with Sunny and the Sun Glows, and the early part of Sunny and the Sunliners. We actually worked together for about 18 years, and he used to do all the arrangements for the horns. So I had it pretty easy then, but because he took care of all of that.
Yeah.
So now, of course, we all get into it. Rudy's very talented.
Yeah. And you had, I mean, especially I recall the Latin breed because I know most of those musicians came. Gibby Escobedo played for you, right?
Yeah, Gibby. Yeah.
And I know Pete Garza played for you for a minute.
He did. He did.
You had I don't know if you had Richard or Bobby.
Richard Solis. I had them both.
You had them both.
Yeah, Bobby, of course, he rest in peace. But Bob and I worked for about 21 years together.
Wow.
Yeah, and then off and on, Richard would just kind of sit in with us, but he was always the younger.
Yeah, he was a little brother. Right?
So he didn't get too many breaks. Bobby was awesome. Bobby was awesome.
Well, I never had the pleasure to meet him, but I've heard a lot of great things about him.
Guys, you spend most of the night playing, and looking back there, you thought it was 2 or 3 guys playing. It was Bobby by himself, man. Yeah. Say, man, this guy's like an octopus, man. He could get things going back there. You'd say, Bobby, man. Is that you? Yeah, man, that's me.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite albums is Los Enamorados. That was one of my favorites, and even though it was later that I heard it, I heard you guys playing some songs today too that were from some of the earlier albums. How do you pick what songs you guys?
You know that do? I don't know how we do that. I actually pick everything, and there's only actually an X amount of songs that we can play, and I tried to put together. We can actually do 2 sets of an hour and a half right now, non-stop. So that's 3 hours pretty much. And we kind of do that for maybe 2 or 3 years, and then revamp, because we have 69 CDs on the market. So it's hard to always keep the same ones, and that's what keeps it exciting, because they want to come back and see what you're playing next.
Well, so, I saw you at a festival a while back, and it was a different set than I heard tonight. So it was great. It was great. I know we've had you. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Pleasure's
Where can they find some of those 69 albums that they want to buy?
You can come to sunnyozuna.com, and everything is there from day one.
Wow. All right. Well, you heard that, ladies and gentlemen. sunnyozuna.com. Sunny, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Love being with you.